I'm with Miamisburg Vikings head football coach Lance Schneider, and coach 4-2 coming off a nice win at Northmont last week. You were trailing going into the fourth quarter, but pulled out of the win. Can you talk about the fourth quarter comeback?
Well, we made a big fourth down stop with about 5 minutes left at about their 25-yard line, and we were able to get a first down on the first play, and then we had a fourth down that we converted, throwing an out route to Connor Smith. Got us to about midfield, and then we hit Jackson McGowan down the sideline, got us down to the 4-yard line, and Christian Davis ran it in from there with like a minute and a half left, and then obviously we had to play some defense and had a pick on a Hail Mary to end the game.
Justin Berry is your senior quarterback. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Very intelligent kid. He's his second year as a starter, so he's picking up things real well here in this senior year. And he's one of the kids that kind of understands the offense really well and does a great job of getting the ball to the right people.
Okay, a little past the halfway point of the season, how do you feel about the offensive line's performance?
Our offensive line's played really well. We lost Darius Williams for the year, which is unfortunate because he's a really good player for us. But Brock Harris and A.J. Sally are doing a great job for us at guard. Abe Lane goes a sophomore that started last year for us at center, so he's got a lot of experience. Braden Davis is back this year as an offensive tackle, and Alex Atkins, who started for us last year too. So they're experienced guys that are playing really well for us.
Okay, same question about the defensive line.
A lot of the same guys, since we have you got some guys going both ways. Sally and Brock Harris both play on that side. Drew Dunaway, who plays tight end for us, plays some over there on the defense. Mason Colvin is a guy who kind of spells some guys over there and has played real well for us. And like I said, we lost Darius Williams for a year there, so that kind of thins us a little bit. But they're going to be tested Friday, that's for sure, because Fairmont does a great job up front on the offensive line.
Jackson McGowan seems to be getting bigger and better every week. So how good is he, and how good can he be?
He's a really good player, man. He's 6'5", 210 pounds, and you line a guy up at receiver in high school with that size. There's very few people that can match up with him, so we take advantage of that. And he's got really good hands, really good ball skills, and he's played for us since he was a freshman, and so all that has kind of come together here during his junior season. And I think the sky's the limit for him. He actually played some safety for us last week because we had 4 of our 5 starting DBs out and did a great job there too. So we'll probably play him some more on that side of the ball as well.
Christian Davis is averaging close to 5 yards a carry on 74 attempts. What makes him so difficult to bring down?
He's got good vision and is able to see things. The other night he was kind of dead to rights in the hole on the trap and spun out and got about 50 yards from that. So he's just one of the guys that kind of is about a step ahead of everybody else usually, and kind of sees his cuts before everybody else sees where he's going to go, and it really helps. And plus he's a 3-year starter now as a junior, and is one of the kids. He's just a very special talent.
All right, now we're going to switch gears. How do you slow down Fairmont's rushing attack led by Drew Baker?
Well, I get Springfield's defensive line to come play for us because they did a great job of it last week. But yeah, Fairmont's really good up front. It's one of the things you got to play discipline. You got to stay low. You can't, if your pads come up high, they're going to move you off the line of scrimmage pretty easily. So we got to do a really good job of playing on the line of scrimmage and freeing guys up so that they can make tackles. And if we can do that, we'll have some success. And if we don't, they're going to keep the ball away from us.
And what challenges does Fairmont's defense present?
They're not real big, but they're pretty quick, run to the ball real well, and they're always well coached. Steve McDonald does a great job with them, and we feel like there's some things that we can do to kind of offset that. But in the end, it's just a matter of making plays and taking advantage of the opportunities when they arise. But they're a well coached unit.
So now, as we approach week 7 of the games, football games, how's the health of the Vikings? Are you banged up very much, or are you in pretty good shape?
We got banged up against Wayne, and kind of played undermanned last week at Northmont, and had a lot of guys step up for us. But we're getting most of those guys back. Like I said, Williams is out for the rest of the season, but I I think we got almost everybody back. I think we got one more safety that's going to be out one more week, Baylor Stickle. But we're as healthy as you can be in this time of year.
Under the circumstances,
sure.
right?
Right.
So most of the players on the Vikings, I presume, are looking to get revenge on the loss from last year. And are they kind of pumped up for that?
Yeah, we're more pumped up, I think, because it's homecoming week. But that last week's win gave us a lot of confidence as a program. Kind of showed these kids that to win games in this league, you're gonna have to make plays late in games, and then we were able to do that. And hopefully, we can build on that and continue into this week. But we know we got a real tough opponent coming to town here, and we got to defend our turf and hopefully get a win for these kids for homecoming. And that's the biggest thing is you always want to win those games.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck on Friday.
All right, thanks, Mark.
I'm with Coach Dave Miller, head coach of the Fairmont varsity football team. Coach, we're approaching another tough opponent, Miamisburg. And you said several times in the interview last week that Springfield was really good. They led 17-0 at the halftime, and then neither team scored in the second half. What was the difference in the two halves?
Well, I think, defensively, other than two plays, we gave up a big play right at the end of the half. And then the quarterback scrambled on the other touchdown. Our defense played a great game. I mean, when you think about what we did to an offense that had weapons all over the place, the Brown kid who caught the touchdown, he made it back that week. We hadn't seen him since St. Ignatius, so he played a half against them and had like 2 or 3 catches for 90 yards. So, they have weapons all over the place. And for our defense to come out with holding them to 17 points, especially after what our offense did to them, putting them in really tough situations, that's a credit to them for sure. They're really good. We knew coming in we were going to have trouble, and especially on the offensive line, their defensive line is as good as I've seen since I've been at Fairmont. The one kid, number 56, was just nearly impossible to block. He had a great game. We never got them uncomfortable. We never sustained drives, and that's kind of been our MO, and we weren't able to do that. So, that was the biggest factor there.
Defensively, you made it tough on them. They scored both of their touchdowns within a couple of minutes of each other right before halftime. Yep. But then they had to work for everything. Can you talk about the defense a bit more?
Well, like we said, I think that's a credit to the our defensive coaching staff and our kids just executing the game plan. 2 plays really. You take away the scramble. We didn't communicate very well on that. The kid, he got in. And that quarterback he's a 3-year starter. He was making plays like that as a sophomore. So, that's a potential state championship team we just saw. So I felt really coming out of it with the way our defense played, and I told them if we can improve, we're going to be right there with everybody because if we'll get our offense straight. That was uncharacteristic for us to have as bad a night as we did, but that's just a huge credit to our defense. I mean, they did a great job, so we just got to get better.
Offensively, you came into the game averaging over 300 yards per game. The Springfield defense held the offense to just 58 yards. Credit to them, or was it more execution issues and untimely penalties?
Well, that didn't help, but that's a major credit to them. And, I heard it at the end of the game, why aren't you throwing? Well, if we'd have thrown the ball, the bad position we put our defense in would have been a heck of a lot worse because they've got DBs. They're loaded. I mean, when you look at their defense, there's no weaknesses there. And we tried to, we could have executed better for sure. We talked about that. There are obviously things that we did that we could fix, but they made us, look really bad. So they had a good scheme coming in, and you could tell that they were ready to go and ready against what we do, and executed it very well.
The first couple of points, let me rephrase that. The first couple of punts where it was Hillen instead of Holt. Will we see more punts from Hillen going forward?
We'll see. I never say never on that. Malik's a good athlete, and he didn't have his best night punting, but you know, he's better than that. We know that, and that was his first time he had done it. But you know, Will had a good night too. He came in and had a couple nice punts. I mean, the one he pinned him down inside the 10. You know, so he's got to continue to get better at that, and we'll keep working on it. You know, we're finding things out. We haven't had to punt a whole lot up until, you know, really last week and this week. So you know, we'll get better at it. So.
Okay, on to Miamisburg. They gave up 229 yards on the ground to Northmont last week. Does that bode well for your offense?
Different offense. You know, really you can't gauge it on that. You know, I know that Alter had trouble moving the ball on them, and Alter's built a lot more like we are. They're really good. I mean, I was with a bunch of coaches yesterday from the GWalk, and Coach Jenkins from over at Bellbrook, and Coach Colvin from CJ, and you know, we were all talking about Miamisburg, and the talk in our conference anyway is that's the most improved football team there is, and they're good. They're well coached. They're big. They're physical. They've got athletes. You know, so it doesn't get any easier. I mean, our schedule is daunting. You know, but that's the way you want it. You know, you got to bring your best game every week. So, but they're really good, and I would not gauge the 200 and some yards rushing by Northmont because they do different things than we do. They'll pass on you, and you got to prepare for that. You know, against us, they can pretty much lay their ears back, and you know, that's the way we're built, and we know that. But you know, that's what we got to get better at.
Another physical game last week. Can you update us on the health of your players, especially the line?
We're okay. You know, I think health-wise we came out, you know, pretty well. Got some guys dinged up in our JV games, really, but no, we've been very fortunate that we've avoided, you know, some major injuries. We've got a few bumps and bruises here and there, but you know, for that physical of a game, for us to come out like that, I feel pretty good about that.
Okay, Miamisburg seems to be fairly balanced on offense. What is the key to disrupting their offensive flow?
It's a tough offense. What they're doing now is they've combined some of the past with their wing T under Coach Chanel, and they brought the Schneider, you know, connection there with the passing. So they're a nightmare. I mean, from a defense coordinator standpoint, I don't envy Steve this week because it's tough, you know. So he'll have them ready. I know that, but that's going to be a test for sure.
Okay, and finally, Coach, Jackson McGowan is their leading receiver. He's listed at 6'5", 211. How do you contain a big target like that?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they run the ball really well now, and they've got that, and a really nice tight end, a couple other receivers and they're good at what they do, you know. So I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, you know, I know they're working on it. Our guys they do a good job. You know, our coaches do a nice job preparing our kids. And our kids, for the most part, you know, work very hard to execute the game plan. So it'll be exciting, fun, and to prepare, and you know, we're excited to get to Friday. So.
Okay, Coach. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks, Norm.